It feels like every year SEO changes a lot. Probably more in 2024 than maybe in the last 10 years. SEO has been changing at breakneck speed. That being said, a lot of the great fundamentals we talk about a lot for SEO haven't changed. Great content optimization, a good content strategy, clean technical website, a site that's fast, that renders well on mobile. Really making sure that you're, appear off-site in critical third-party locations like Google Business Profile. A lot of those fundamentals have stayed the same, but there's some new emerging tactics that I wanted to share for today, beyond kind of, let's call it some of the basics or the fundamentals of some things to consider testing in your 2025 SEO strategy based on things we're starting to see really pop or work for some of our clients. First is Reddit and Quora. If you haven't noticed, it feels like every time you do a Google search now, at least Reddit, one of these two forums is popping up. And it's definitely, if it's one of those things where you've kind of avoided it or haven't set up a Reddit account or played around with it, this might be a great time to start testing out Reddit optimization and responding to relevant threads to your business or industry. Second is content enhancement using AI. So the secret's kind of out. A lot of people are using artificial intelligence to generate content. And what they're finding is that content can be a little flat. It can lack a little personality, lack a little authenticity. And Google's getting really, really slow to index AI-generated content. However, if you hold back from letting AI sort of take the wheel, but use AI instead to really enhance your content, you can do great things with a core piece of content by using a system like ChatGPT to go in and add some semantic relevant keywords, or add in some internal links, or use DALL-E to help you think of a really great internal image to include. So there's a lot you can do to enhance your content to really improve its visibility in search. Next is really starting to think about optimizing for what we might consider a non-traditional search engine or an AI search engine. So ChatGPT is emerging as a pretty common search engine. GBT just launched their GBT search. We've got Perplexity on the rise. Their users look like a hockey stick in terms of growth. And these kind of AI search engines are getting very, very popular, and really kind of going through and sorting through optimizing for those. One of the big things that they're looking at is third-party reviews. So Google Business, Yelp, those types of things. So really kind of piecing together, if you go into one of those tools and ask for its top recommended businesses in the category for your industry, and then ask why it chose that list, to really sort of piece your way back together through how do you optimize for something like Perplexity versus Google. Next, focusing on user engagement metrics. I know a lot of SEOs talked about this a lot earlier this year about leaked Google information and ranking factors. And one of the ones that surprised a lot of us is that Google is trying to pay attention to on-site user engagement metrics, and whether somebody, when they search for a keyword phrase and come to your site, whether they stay and engage with your site or whether they bounce right back to the search engine. So really thinking about things like, how do we make sure that we have a great user experience? We're increasing our page view per user. We're increasing our on-site time to make sure that your users are getting a really great experience. Next, I think that this is the beginning of a big change in search engine optimization, where we kind of think of it less as optimizing for Google and more optimizing for everything, meaning that users are finding more and more ways to get to information without going to a traditional Google search, whether that's an AI search engine like Perplexity, whether that's a more secure search engine like DuckDuckGo, or whether it's something that we might not even consider a search engine like TikTok or YouTube. It's very, very clear that with the rise of AI, we're seeing a lot of users go to a lot of different places to connect with information. And so what you really want to think about in tandem with that is not just which one keyword that someone might search in Google and how do I optimize for that, but instead really think about more entity optimization. So you really want to, have a good grasp on a content category or a set of keywords all around an entity or a topic, and then think about all the different places where people might search for that entity, not just Google. So if you're targeting the younger generation and you have a product, it might make sense to have a TikTok strategy. Or if you are a very informational site, It might make sense to have a strategy for GPT search and perplexity. So really thinking about where are all the different places that my user might search for this information, and how do I really optimize for that entity versus focusing on a keyword in a specific search engine like Google. Next, this is kind of one of my favorite ones, is one of the big things that businesses always struggle with is, what do I write? What do I do? How do I create content? And AI is a tremendous tool for, one, analyzing content gaps with competitors and thinking about what is content they're talking about that we're not. But also you can start to do things like record conversations and sales meetings in tools like Fathom AI and run those transcripts through AI and really figure out what kinds of big pieces of content you should create based on questions or objections you're hearing in the sales process. And then finally, one of the things that's also on the rise is voice search, and thinking about voice search optimization. So one of the things you can do is test out, maybe create some content that's a little bit longer and has more conversational-esque keywords of someone who might have searched using their phone and via voice versus a Google search.